Basic Math, Chapter 10, Section 6, Subtracting Decimals. You can subtract decimals. Look at the grids below. 47 hundredths take away 25 hundredths equals 22 hundredths. Subtract decimals the way you would subtract whole numbers. Line up the decimal points one over the other before you subtract. Then place the decimal point in the difference so that it lines up with the other decimal points. So there's the key. Line up the decimal points one over the other before you subtract. Then just subtract. For example, subtract 29 and 34 hundredths, take away 16 and 52 hundredths. Step 1 is to line up the decimal points. Step 2 is to subtract. Place the decimal point in the difference. The difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. The difference between 29 and 34 hundredths and 16 and 52 hundredths is 12 and 82 hundredths. Sometimes you must write a decimal point in zeros so that you can line up the decimal points. For example 2, subtract 87, take away 35 and 83 hundredths. Step 1, line up the decimal points. A whole number automatically has a decimal to the right of it, which you can write in, and then as many zeros as you need to be on top of the decimal you are taking away. In this case, 83 hundredths. Step 2 is to subtract. Place the decimal point in the difference, and then you have to regroup across zeros. The difference between 87 and 35 and 83 hundredths is 51 and 17 hundredths. So for practice B, subtract. Well, not practice B, practice A, subtract. The decimal points have been lined up for you. So for number 1, 5 minus 3 is 2. We can't take the 8 from 2, so we regroup, and now that 2 becomes 12. Now 8 from 12 is 4, and bring down the decimal in the same column. Number 2, we can take 2 from 9, that's 7. Well, we can't take 6 from 3, so we regroup. And now we can take 6 from 13, 7. Can't take 7 from 4, so we regroup. We can take 7 from 14, and that's 7, and then bring down the decimal place in the same place. When it's all lined up, we can see the answer has the decimal place right underneath it. Let's look at practice B. Subtract. Remember to line up the decimal points, because that's the key when working with adding and subtracting decimal points. Line up the decimal points. Write a decimal point in zeros if you need. Show your work in vertical form, which is one on top of the other. So for space, let's start with these ones on the side. So $28.50, $28.50. Take away $12.35. Well, we can't take 5 from 0, so we regroup and get 5. We can take 3 from 4 and get 1. Take 2 from 8 and get 6. Take 1 from 2 and get 1. Now bring down the decimal, and the answer is $16.15. All right, let's try one more. Number 20 has the whole number 1. Take away 1/1000ths. So let's put a decimal to the right of the whole number, so we can always do that, and add as many zeros as we need to. in this case 3. We can't take the 1 from 0, so we have to regroup and come all the way to the number 1, and that becomes 0. This becomes a 10, and now we can regroup from there, and it becomes 9. That goes to a 10, and we can regroup there, and it becomes a 9. And this last one becomes a 10. Now we can take 1 from the 10 and get 9. 0 from 9 is 0. 0 from 9 is 0. Bring down the decimal, bring down the 0, and the answer is 999 thousandths. So when you take 1,000th away from the whole number 1, you're left with 999 thousandths. Aaron found this chart in a magazine. Who ran the fastest? The smallest number for time shows the fastest runner. So who had the least amount? That is the fastest person. They all have 9, and then these two have 9s in the tenths, but this one has an 8 in the tenths. 8 is less than 9, so 9 and 84 hundredths seconds is the least amount of time, telling us this person went the fastest. And that's what we can write. Donovan Bailey. Number 2, how much faster is Donovan Bailey than Carl Lewis? Subtract to find out. Donovan went 9 and 84 hundredths. Carl Lewis went 9 and 92 hundredths of a second. So you can line them up and subtract, and then try number 3. For more practice, go to your workbook for Chapter 10, Section 6. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.